A couple months ago, I flew all the way to Atlanta, Georgia to compete in one of the biggest Beyblade tournaments in the world, where the winner would be flown all the way to LA to compete against Kai Cenat, one of the biggest live streamers in the world. I spent hundreds of dollars to be there, so I was taking this incredibly seriously, and the Beyblade I bet my hopes and dreams on was Cobalt Dragoon. What makes Cobalt Dragoon special is that it's the only left spinning Beyblade and thus the only Beyblade that can use historically the most powerful strategy in the game, spin stealing. So I went to the tournament with this dominant strategy and immediately lost in the first round to Shark Edge. Cobalt Dragoon was completely countered, and it's not because spin stealing is a bad strategy, it's because Cobalt Dragoon isn't the most optimal spin stealing Beyblade. It's unbalanced, jagged, and has low friction. The Beyblade company had learned from their past mistakes and made sure not to make an overpowered spin stealing menace. I spent all that time and money for nothing basically, but instead of just sitting there in my anger, I decided to use that rage and my engineering knowledge to create a spin stealing Beyblade of my own. A Beyblade engineered to spin steal as well as possible, so that I would never have to relive that moment of losing first round to a Shark Edge. Before designing a spin-stealing menace, we first have to define how a Beyblade actually steals spin in real life. In the anime, it's like magic. A Beyblade looks like it's just stealing the life force from the opponent. But in real life, it's not as spectacular, and it's surprisingly simple. When two Beyblades that spin in opposite directions collide, the faster Beyblade slightly pushes the slower Beyblade, transferring its kinetic energy, causing the slower Beyblade to move slightly faster. Think of them like gears. One Beyblade is basically spinning the other, and that's why spin stealing only works when you're versing opposite spin Beyblades. When same spin Beyblades collide, they push each other in the opposite direction they're spinning, decreasing the opponent's spin. Anyway, when Beyblades steal spin, the kinetic energy and or spin power is shared between the two Beyblades, and eventually that spin runs out and both Beyblades fall at the same time. So the better, more accurate term would be spin equalizing rather than spin stealing, because that's basically what's happening. And in the end, since both Beyblades stop spinning at nearly the same time, the winner of the match is whichever Beyblade can stay the most balanced and not topple over with as little spin as possible. So now that we know the basic science behind spin stealing, the question is, how do we maximize this? Well, to maximize it, the first metric we're going to be looking at is, of course, rotational inertia. How hard it is to stop and start a spinning object. The higher the moment of inertia, the harder it is to stop the Beyblade from spinning, which is what we want, because we want this thing to spin for as long as possible with as little spin as possible. So to maximize rotational inertia, we want as much weight as far from the center as possible. And the next metric we're going to be looking at is, of course, friction. In order to spin steal as best as possible, we want to have friction between our spin stealing Beyblade and the opponent. The more friction we have, the easier it is for the opponent to push us and give us spin. Now, contrary to popular belief, you don't want to have as much friction as possible. While having a lot of friction at the beginning of battle can help you steal spin, by the end of battle, when you have basically the same amount of spin as your opponent, it doesn't really aid in spin stealing, it actually slows you down. Think of like Impact Drake. It has so much friction because of its huge rubber contact points that it basically stops spinning after one major hit. Now, while we want to increase friction with the blade, we want to decrease as much friction as possible with the bit. So we want to have just enough friction where you can spin steal at the beginning of battle, but not too much friction where it hinders you at the end of battle. So with these ideas, I reached out to my friend Spooky, whose Instagram will be linked in the description, and this is what we cooked up. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. So for this design, we want to pay respects to the iconic spin stealing legend Fafnir and make our Beyblade motif in Ink Dragon. The design has a large amount of metal only on the outside to maximize rotational inertia and the perfect amount of rubber to aid in spin steal and not hinder late game performance. In my opinion, this might just be my favorite custom Beyblade we made so far. It just looks so clean. Anyway, to make these Beyblades from my computer into a reality, we printed it with the sponsor JLC 3DP. Buying a metal 3D printer is literally like $100,000, which I don't have. So outsourcing is really the only practical option, and JLC 3DP is the best 3D printing service by far. Their parts are super high quality and they're so much cheaper compared to other options. I've actually never used another service to 3D print Beyblades. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, if you guys want to print the perfect spin stealing Beyblade at home, all of the files linked in the description, and you can use JLC 3DP to print them. All you have to do is upload the files, choose the material, so I'm going stainless steel, nylon, plastic, and TPU, which is kind of like rubber. Next, you go to the description, change it to toy part, and then submit. After that, you'll have the shipping page. I suggest going with global shipping. It is just so much cheaper. And then finally, an engineer will go over your parts, and you'll usually get an email saying your walls are too thin because, well, we're printing small Beyblade parts. Usually, it's fine to just accept the risks. Anyway, my Beyblade just came in, so let's go check it out in person. Okay, moment of truth. Here is the ultimate spin stealing Beyblade. Oh my goodness, it looks so awesome. Now obviously it didn't come from JLC 3DP like this. I actually already put it together and just put it back in the box. But yeah, like I said earlier in the video, this is probably my favorite design Beyblade we've made so far. It just looks so amazing. It is an ink dragon, and yeah, just spectacular. Anyway, as for the combo, we're using 960 bearing. So of course, 960 for the burst resistance, and the bit is actually a custom bit made by Benchblade. It has a bearing inside of it, and it should give us as little friction with the stadium floor as possible, which again is what we're looking for in a spin stealing Beyblade. Also, another thing I'd like to note is when designing this Beyblade, we tried to make it a normal size because in past scientific engineering Beyblade videos, we've made Beyblades super big and super heavy because according to those equations, that should make the Beyblade more powerful, which, I mean, obviously it does. It's pretty intuitive. A bigger, heavier Beyblade is going to do better in battle. But a lot of people were saying that we should make the Beyblade a normal size and a normal weight so we can actually see the design work and know that it's not just the weight and the size that makes the Beyblade powerful. So that's what we did with this guy. As you can tell, it is a pretty similar size to Wizard Rod. So hopefully this will show off the actual science behind the Beyblade and not just the Beyblade being heavier, and that's why the Beyblade is better. Before we test this thing's spin stealing capabilities though, let's first test one metric we sought to optimize: its rotational inertia, and see how long this Beyblade spins for. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Alright, let's see. 2 minutes and 48 seconds. That is insane. To put in perspective, the longest spinning Beyblade, Clock Mirage, spins for around 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Our engineered Beyblade that we made to steal spin also has the accidental benefit of having better spin than the best stamina Beyblade in the game. This is due to optimizing the rotational inertia and having as little friction with the stadium floor as possible. Anyway, even though its spin time is great, we created this Beyblade to steal spin. So let's go test that out. To start off, let's put it against a Beyblade that it should be able to spin steal pretty well from. Let's do Rhino Horn. It's basically a sitting duck. It is super unbalanced, and the bit has no life after death at all. So in theory, our Beyblade should totally destroy it. It's like everything you don't want in a spin stealing Beyblade. So there is our spin stealing menace, and there is Rhino Horn. All right, let's see it. It looks like you can kind of tell when the rubber hits because it's like soft hits in battle. Like, I'll let you listen, guys. Like, do you hear that? Those softer hits, that's the rubber compared to the harder hits, which is metal. And yeah, it looks like it's absorbing Rhino Horde spin pretty well. And in the end, yeah, look at that. It just dominated. Oh my gosh, it had so much more life after death. Okay, let's try a little harder of a Beyblade. Let's try Ghost Circle. This guy should do a lot better. It's super round and its bit gear ball actually has decent life after death. So let's see if it can still win. There we go. There is Ghost Circle, and I'm gonna weak launch. There is our spin stealing Beyblade. And yeah, the reason why I'm weak launching is just to show you guys that this Beyblade is stealing spin, and it's not just winning because I'm launching it hard. But yeah, it's stealing spin pretty well. Those rubber hits are doing amazing work. And in the end, as you can tell, it kind of transfers from those rubber hits to more metal hits, which is what we want. That's what we engineered this Beyblade to do, so it won't steal spin at the end of battle and hopefully beat the opponent. And there we go, like absolute domination. Okay, we definitely have to raise the bar. You know what? I kind of want to see how it does against another rubber Beyblade. So let's try it against Impact Drake. And Impact Drake is an attack type. The other Beyblades we were using were stationary. So let's see if it can steal spin from an attack type. We're going to weak launch it. 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go, Impact Drake. Oh my goodness, it's right out of spin. Do you hear that? It's like rubber hitting rubber. There's like no noise at all. Bro. Anyway, so yeah, obviously this guy is stealing spin. I feel like Impact Drake, yeah, it doesn't stand a chance. This Beyblade is OP. This Beyblade is crazy OP. You know what? Let's try to get an even harder attack type. I feel like our goal is stealing spin, but kind of an unintentional buff is that when it steals spin, it kind of absorbs the hits from attack type Beyblade. So this guy actually has really good defense. So let's see how good of defense it has against Shark Edge. Also, because we weak launch it, the collisions aren't as crazy, so it's less likely to get hit out. Anyway, Shark Edge is hitting this Beyblade like crazy, but again, it's stealing spin, and it's also stealing its kinetic energy and power. And in the end, bro, not even Shark Edge, this super crazy upper attack Beyblade can knock it out. And this time, you know what? I'm gonna hand spin it. All right, let's see it. Shark Scale. Yo, every time Shark Scale hits him, you can see him absorb the spin. He gets slightly faster. And in the end, even with a hand spin, bro, the ultimate spin stealing Beyblade. Now, Silver Wolf is known to have amazing stamina, so can he spin steal all of Silver Wolf's stamina? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Silver Wolf versus our ultimate spin stealing Beyblade, which has yet to lose a battle. See, oh my gosh, it bursted. You know what, let's try that again. It's just so powerful. That's not necessarily what we want. We want the Beyblade to win in spin finish, not like any other finish. But the Beyblade is just so good and so overpowered. Even though we made it the same size as normal Beyblades, as you can tell, it is the same size as Silver Wolf, but it's still performing like crazy. And as you can see, it's stealing Silver Wolf spin. And in the end, I'm pretty confident that it's going to destroy him in stamina and life after death. Yep, absolutely destroyed. The battles haven't even been close. Usually with spin steal, at least during the burst days, they would be super close and you would win by like a fraction of a rotation. But I think because we just have this bearing bit and compared to like normal ball bits or normal X bits, this thing is just super OP with the bearing bit and the rotational inertia buff we gave it in its design. So yeah, I mean, again, we engineered it to be OP and it is incredibly OP. Next, let's see how it does against, of course, Wizard Rod. Wizard Rod used to be the peak of stamina Beyblades until we got Mirage Clock. Now, I still think Wizard Rod is a better competitive Beyblade just because Mirage Clock has to use like the dumb like simple ratchets and it's super tall and it bursts all the time. But Mirage Clock has amazing stamina, even better stamina than Wizard Rod. Surprisingly though, our spin stealing master Beyblade has more stamina. It's just so OP. It has rubber, it steals spin, it has a bearing bit. Like literally, I feel like nothing can beat it. It has amazing defense, amazing stamina, and what can it not do? All right, it's time to do Mirage Clock, the best stamina Beyblade, and see if it can still defeat him. So let's launch our ultimate spin stealing Beyblade. Let me slow him down a bit. That was too much spin. There we go. And then let's launch Mirage Clock. And as you see, it is slowly getting faster and stealing its spin. And yeah, I mean, this Beyblade, I was about to say this Beyblade is completely OP, but it's kind of toppling over right now. Never mind. Mirage Clock is so bad it just exploded. You know what? What happens if we just launch him again? Launch him again, and this time hopefully he doesn't die to like a burst finish. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, another one. You know, a little flaw in this Beyblade design is that we want to maximize rotational inertia just because it maximizes life after death. As you see, it's like beating every Beyblade at life after death. It spins so much longer than other Beyblades, even though they're supposed to have an equal amount of spin at the end. So rotational inertia does maximize that, but again, rotational inertia is not only maximizing how long the Beyblade spins, it's also how hard it is to start and stop the Beyblade. So actually, this Beyblade doesn't get as much rotation from spin stealing as it could have. If we made the rotational inertia as low as possible, it'd be able to drain spin way better, but it would have a lot less life after death. So I guess that's the trade-off. Honestly, it still spin steals really well, and I think having better life after death is more beneficial than being able to steal a little bit more rotation. And I mean, it's still dominating, it's still doing crazy. Anyway, that's just something that I'd like to note that I just realized while doing these battles. If we really wanted to make a super amazing spin stealer rather than a Beyblade that's good at spin stealing and life after death, we probably would have wanted to minimize the rotational inertia. So we would have a bunch of weight in the center and like little weight on the outside. That way other Beyblades can push him and give him spin very easily. But still, again, I think we made the right decision because it's so good. It is so good, and it still steals spin. It still steals spin really well. It just could have stolen spin better. You know what I mean? There's flaws to every system. Anyway, let's see how it does against Mirage Clock when it doesn't just explode. And there we go. As you see, the rotational inertia, even though it kind of hinders spin steal, it gives it amazing life after death. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I just got these Beyblades in today. Look at this, guys. Emperor Might, the Waffle, and Wolf Hunt. You know what? Let's unbox these and see how they do against our ultimate spin stealing Beyblade. This Beyblade is beautiful. Oh, and it's so heavy. Bro, look at this green Golem Rock too. It's literally like Hulk colors. All right, Wolf Hunt next. Snap its neck. Ew, wait. They give this guy disc ball? Oh my gosh, they're ruining this Beyblade. I take it back. This thing looks so clean. Okay, well, you know what? Let's see how it does against our spin stealing Beyblade. Let's just launch him real quick. And then let's launch the other guys. Where's my launcher? Here it is. All right, we'll do Wolf Hunt first. There is Wolf Hunt versus our ultimate spin stealing Beyblade. And wait, its free spinning ring actually might be doing, no, it's not doing any work. Look how stable our Beyblade is. It's obviously stealing an insane amount of spin right now. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason that Takara Tomy has been just nerfing left spin Beyblades and X, trying to make them as unbalanced as possible because they don't want to end up in another situation like Drain Fafnir where the whole meta is just spin stealing like that and destroying. This Beyblade, we put so many powerful Beyblades against it and it still has 100% win rate. Let's see how it does against Emperor Might. I hand spun that and it just burst Emperor Might. That's supposed to be the new most powerful Beyblade. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Our ultimate spin stealing Beyblade versus, bro, Emperor Might is not that great. It's probably because I'm using the bit ratchet combination. These guys burst a lot. You know what? Let me give him a custom combo. Let's try this guy, 960 ball. Our spin stealing king versus a competitive Emperor Might combo. At least I think it's competitive. I mean, it has to be. It's 960 ball. There's two rules to Beyblades. Every stamina around Beyblade is amazing with 960 ball, and every Beyblade is good with like 960 rush. If a Beyblade is bad, just slap like 960 rush on it and pray. It'll at least do some damage. Anyway, let's see. Obviously, we know what's gonna happen. We know what's gonna happen. Emperor Might, as cool as you are, you're the new Beyblade that just came out, you are still going to lose to our crazy spin steel combo. It is just so great. Oh yeah, and also they literally just revealed, it's so good. They literally just revealed a rubber version of Dragoon, Meteor Dragoon, that's supposed to release in December. As I'm making this video, they revealed that literally an hour before I started recording, but that Beyblade has one massive dragon compared to two smaller ones, so it's probably gonna be super unbalanced, and that's just because again, the Beyblade company knew that making a left spinning Beyblade with rubber that's balanced is super overpowered. They don't want to have a spin stealing problem because, as you guys saw from this video, spin stealing is definitely super overpowered. It is the most overpowered strategy in the game. But finally, for the last battle, I think it's fitting that I use Shark Edge, the Beyblade that eliminated me from the Atlanta tournament and kept me from meeting Kais. So let's finally take revenge with my actual good spin stealing combo. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, go. My spin stealing menace versus the Beyblade that haunts my nightmares. You know what? It's still gonna win. Even after all that, it's still gonna win. It's still gonna win. Our spin stealing Beyblade is so good. Amazing defense, amazing stamina. There's just like nothing that can beat it. Even when it's tilting like that, watch. It just comes back up. It comes back up. And then absolutely destroyed. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I don't think this guy lost a single battle. The whole video, he didn't lose a single battle. He's just that good. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a nice day. LeftBurst out.